Good morning, YouTube. SJ Squirrel here. As usual, riding Highway 17 on my way to work. Heard on the news there were a couple of wrecks, so might end up being a lane split video. You never know. But what I was planning to talk about was the really fantastic experience I had yesterday. I took my girlfriend 2-up for the first time. It was her first time 2-up. It was my first time 2-up on this bike. Really only my 4th time 2-up, period. You know, I don't do a lot of 2-up riding. And it was great. She had a great time. I really enjoyed having her back there. She was a wonderful passenger. But I can't stress the importance of coaching your passenger if you want her to be a good passenger. A couple of things I made sure I did. I explained her safety gear and how to put it on. Made sure she had safety gear. Helmet, jacket, gloves. Chaps or pants would be good, but at the very least, jeans and good boots. Explained to her how to get on the bike and how to get off the bike without upsetting it. You know, showed her to put her left foot on the peg and her hand on my shoulder, step straight up and step through the bike and sit down on the other, you know, sit down on the seat, put her foot on the other peg. So there was a minimum of tipping. Showed her where she could hang on. My bike has really good grab handles on the back that she could use. Explained to her that she had to hold up her own weight as best she could, not just lay on my back and make me do push-ups with both of us, especially under braking and down hills. I explained that to her. And she did great. She held onto the handles, held herself upright quite a bit. Told her if she did need to brace against me, to brace against my hips, not against my shoulders, so it wouldn't be my arms holding her up. Some of you on sport bikes, you can teach her to use the tank, but on my bike that just wouldn't work. She couldn't reach the tank. And then we went out and we had a great little ride. Didn't have a lot of communication. She, you know, there were a couple of times where she wiggled in places she shouldn't have. You know. We had a little problem where I kept running into her feet at stops. I just told her to move her feet back on the pegs when we came to stops, and it cleared that right up. But, you know, if you have a significant other, you got a girlfriend, you got somebody who's never ridden but has showed interest, man, get them on the bike. It's just a really cool experience for the rider and the passenger. Now, that being said, you have to do your part. You have to ride smooth. You have to gauge if they're having a good time. And you have to not scare the shit out of your passenger the first time they get on your bike. And you know what I mean. Keep the throttle in check. Keep the front wheel firmly on the ground. Remember, you have more weight than you're used to on the bike, so stop earlier. That one's key. Make sure you're stopping smoothly and giving... I was giving at least twice as much distance as I usually would for stops, and then rolling up slow to the line. Don't accelerate so fast that she slides off the back. If you have a backrest or a top box or something, that goes a long way. There's a lot you as the rider can do to make 2-up an enjoyable experience for your lady, and I highly recommend you do that if you want her to ride again. If you never want her to ride again, scare the crap out of her, but that ain't very nice. But my girl, yeah, she loved it. She was just grinning ear to ear the whole time. She would let me know if when she was doing good. I could feel her, you know, her arms gently on me if she was feeling good. I could feel her tense up a little bit every once in a while, and so I knew that I needed to maybe back off a little bit. But she usually let me know if she was good for a little more lean or a little more speed. It was a really good time, and I really recommend it to anybody who's got an interest in riding with their girl. Here's my accident. Alright. Well, this will be fun. This kind of traffic, if you're lane splitting, you gotta be watching for the people trying to change lanes last minute, especially when you go near the trucks. Oh, so the other thing I did when I put my girl on a bike, if your bike well, all bikes have it, but mine's really easy. Adjust the preload for a passenger. But beware when you do this. So my bike's got electric suspension. I could just plug in that I was going to have 2 passengers, and I had the top case, so I did 2 passengers plus luggage. Normally I ride it in the 1 passenger mode because I'm by myself. So I dialed in the preload before I left the house. Usually I can get my feet pretty flat on the bike with the preload all the way jacked up. I was tiptoes. So you got to be aware of that. Once she got on the bike, I was back to flat-footing it, so it was pretty much perfect. You know, the preload was dialed just perfect for her weight. But absolutely adjust your preload, or you're going to be bottoming out your suspension over every bump, and that is not a comfortable ride. It's definitely a safety issue, so be sure that you do that. But beware that when she gets off the bike, now you have a bike that's taller than you expect because it doesn't squat underneath you. I nearly dumped it putting my foot down on a little bit of a side hill because I couldn't get as much foot down as I expected. I caught it, but it took me by surprise, and it shouldn't have. So just be aware of that, but it's definitely worth making the adjustment. Alright guys, I gotta concentrate here, so that's the end of this video. Squirrel out.